I was always told that hard work is the answer to everything. That if you just keep your head down, keep pushing forward, then success would eventually follow. It was simple. The harder you worked, the more you earned, the more you deserved. But when I reached the end of my journey, I realized something painful. Hard work didn't save me. At first, it seemed like the right path. I threw myself into my work, and the more hours I clocked in, the more my identity became tied to it. Work was no longer just something I did, it was who I was. I told myself it was all for a reason, for success, for the future, for a better life. But no one warned me how much of myself I would lose along the way. I spent years pushing my limits, burning the candle at both ends, only to find myself at a crossroads with nothing to show for it, except for exhaustion. I had given everything I had to the grind, and in return, it only took more. It demanded more of my time, my energy, and my peace of mind. There were days when I questioned if this was all worth it. The constant hustle, the sleepless nights, the relentless chase for something better. I had been led to believe that hard work was the key to happiness. But happiness felt farther away than ever. Somewhere along the way, I forgot to ask myself, why am I doing this? Is this really what I want or what I've been told to want? You see, the problem with the idea that hard work will save you is that it's a trap. It teaches you that you must constantly prove yourself, constantly push forward, and never stop, never rest, never question. But when you put all of yourself into something, you risk losing sight of who you really are. And I did. I spent so many years chasing success that I forgot to live. I ignored my needs, my desires, my dreams. And in the process, I became a stranger to myself. There were moments I would look in the mirror, but I didn't recognize the person looking back. Who was he? What had he become? I had all the external signs of success: a job, a career, a paycheck. But I didn't feel fulfilled. I felt empty. Hard work is often glorified. We're taught that it's the path to everything we want: wealth, success, recognition. But what happens when we work so hard that we forget why we're working in the first place? What happens when hard work takes over and we lose the people and the things that truly matter? I can tell you now, it's not enough. I worked hard. I worked harder than most. But when I reached the end of my journey, I realized something. Hard work didn't save me. It didn't fix the emptiness inside me. It didn't make me happy. It didn't make me feel whole. I thought that hard work would lead me to something greater, to peace, to contentment, to joy. But instead, it only left me tired. It left me feeling lost. I had forgotten that success isn't measured by how much you can give. It's measured by how much you can keep for yourself, how much of yourself you can preserve, how much love and joy you can still have, even after you've given everything else. The truth is, we don't have to work ourselves to the point of exhaustion. To be worthy of love, success, or happiness, we are worthy already. But we forget that sometimes. I spent so much time working toward an idea of success that I never stopped to ask myself what success meant to me. I was too busy running the race to stop and figure out if I was even headed in the right direction. Hard work didn't save me, and that was the hardest thing to accept. But I learned something important. True fulfillment doesn't come from working harder. It comes from working smarter, from knowing when to rest, when to pause, and when to step back. It comes from listening to your heart and letting yourself be enough without the constant need to prove yourself. And maybe, just maybe, we need to stop worshiping hard work as the answer to everything. Because it's not. It's not the number of hours you put in, or how many tasks you can check off your list. It's about finding balance, finding peace, and realizing that you're worthy of success, even without sacrificing your soul for it. So I stopped chasing. I stopped letting my life revolve around work. I started letting myself breathe again. And in doing that, I found something better than success. I found myself. Hard work is important, but it's not the only thing that matters. You can work hard and still feel empty. You can achieve great things and still feel lost. The true measure of a life well lived isn't how much you've done, but how much you've enjoyed along the way. If you've ever felt like hard work was the only path to worthiness, remember that you are already enough. You don't have to work yourself to the bone to prove your value. You just have to be. And in that, you'll find the peace you're looking for. If this story resonated with you, and you feel like you've been working too hard for something that feels out of reach, remember to take a step back. Take a deep breath. Let yourself rest. Thank you for being here. And remember, you're enough, just as you are. You don't need to work for that.